We got the puppy food for the puppy. Now, one of the things I wasn't aware of or I hadn't been paying attention to, more puppy food for the puppies. Large breed dogs are puppies until they're 24 months. So even the 1-year-olds, which we have 3 of them, and then we have one puppy. I still get fed puppy food, which is more expensive than regular dog food, but their bodies are growing. And so they need the extra nutrition. Now, this is for my senior dog, and this is what I got schooled about. I had never considered Life Source protein. He really likes this one. And there's 3 bags of it here. I'm right now carrying the bags to the back and dumping them into the bin. And here's our bins, and there's more Life Source Senior. This time around, I had someone else pick up the food, pick out the food for me because I was busy doing something else with the Chihuahuas. And he got all puppy food and all adult food. Fortunately, I still have a full bin, the one on the end, not this one. This is being filled with puppy food for the 2 3-year-old dogs. But we didn't have any food for the senior. And what I found out from Sally, who was wonderful to sit down and explain it to me, about the kidneys and other functions of the older dogs, that they need a food that is less protein and then other additives for their health, for their joints and things like that, which makes good sense. And since I have a 15-year-old plus dog, he's at least 15. We think he's closer to 18 in dog years. He's already 100 years old, but he's my heart. And if he can live another 10 years, wonderful, 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 because he's my heart. But now we're going to make sure he gets his food with his life protection for the older dogs and the senior food. And so I'm going to keep a record of how much of a difference it makes in his health, in his movement, because he's stiff in the hips and he moves kind of slow, and his overall well-being. Also, he has a sensitive stomach, and that's another thing about the senior food. It has stuff in it to help him digest his food better, and I guess a lot of dogs get sensitive stomachs as they get older, which I didn't know. I have to be honest, all the dogs we've had through the years, when they got older, we kept feeding them. We always fed them. So I'm very happy that Sally was kind enough to point it out to me that he needed something different, because with all the animals, we want to give them the best possible care available. Now, right now, this bin is used for goat food, and I've got 2 bags outside of goat feed, their grain, and all that stuff that I have to come and pour. But I'm thinking about using this one for the senior dog food, and just keep the 3 red barrels for the dog food and put the goat food in one of the blue barrels, just to keep dogs together, consistent, and then just do the goats. And I wanted to separate the goat 4-way grain from the regular grain. The 4-way has the oats, molasses, and barley and stuff like that. And then their regular grain. Because the oats, molasses, and barley and all that, it's fattening, which is good for them. But it's like a dessert. It's like a candy almost to them. And we get issues with them at times where they don't want to eat their regular food because they want nothing but the sweets. So I like to withhold the sweets from them and only give it to them at certain times, but make them eat their regular food. Just like we just started having an issue with the goats not wanting to graze because they prefer the bales of alfalfa and barley, and we have an oat mixture that we get for them. And why eat the weeds, which is what they're here for, because we've got a huge piece of property that is way overgrown, and we need as much weed eating as possible. But if they're getting all this super yummy stuff, they don't want to eat what their natural food is and what they're here to eat. So I have to withhold that stuff from them. The reason why I have it here is so that when it's super, super cold and I can't graze them because the ground is full of snow and ice, then we have plenty of feed stored. And so that's what I'm doing, preparing for winter, because it gets cold here. But I wanted to show you, I'm still dumping the puppy food into this barrel. This is only 2 bags. And we've actually got more than will fit in this. But what I'll do is, after I fill this to the top, I'll sit the bags on top of it to keep any mice or anything from getting into it, because rodents do get into the barns. And in this case, it's a garage, and it will get into everything. But right now, my main thing that I wanted to bring out to anyone's attention. And I'm actually going to do a radio interview with Sally about some of the changes and needs that dogs have that all of us may not know, even people like me who take care of dogs and have been for a long time, that as they get older, some of the things that we need to adjust for them. So that's going to be a fun conversation, and I'll put a link to it with this video. But while I'm doing my chores, before I dumped out all the bags into the bins, I wanted to go over why we have 3 different bins for the different dogs and the different ages, because their bodies have different nutritional requirements, just like grown-ups do, and people do, and pretty much every creature. So I'm signing off because I got a ton of work to do, and I still got to clean pens. So I just wanted to bring this out real quick before I dumped all the bags, because you see I've already dumped quite a few. I've already got this one full, and now we're doing this one, and then I need to empty this out of what's left of the goat feed in here so I can pour the senior food in there, and then just wipe these off. Where we live, the ground in here is dust, and the wind, you can see, blows right through here, all those empty patches. So and I used to keep the bales here, but I have them outside now, and we're doing a different enclosure for the bales. Otherwise, they would be sitting in this empty space right now. But the wind blows in here, so everything looks dusty and dirty, like I never clean it. I'll wipe it off, and 10 minutes later, it'll look just as dusty and dirty. One blow of the wind, so I stopped fretting over it. That's not optional. As long as it's not getting into the food and the food is properly sealed, that's all that matters. All right, I got to get back to work because I've got pens to clean. And I got a fussy butt calling me outside, so I need to go see what she's doing. Alrighty, just a quick note. Keep in mind the age of your dog and make sure you get the appropriate food for them, because it is relevant, it is important, and it will impact their health nutritionally and on so many different levels. And I'm going to take a video and take notes on how much improvement with his hips and his moving slower and his energy levels there is by putting him on the proper diet, and see how much of a change it makes. All right, got to get back to work. Bye-bye.